I've had quite a month. I've actually gotten a couple of careers over the bullshit that I was dealing with. Nothing like terrible and mostly first world problems, but I just have to rant about that. It's like a diary entry. It all started when my girlfriends and I went out just to eat a pizza and just have a chat, and we took our kids with us. I just have to say that I love the fact that my daughter now has a friend, another girl, 6 months older. They're a very good fit. Other kids are either like too young to be this playful or too shy, but those two little bandits, they just go together so well. I feel like the things that they have in common, like their extrovertiveness and just their love for fun and, you know, to fuck around and run around, do stuff, go together very well. And also the things that differ between those two are also a good fit, because my daughter has kind of always been hesitant as far as physical movement goes. She started, you know, all her physical milestones rather late, like standing, sitting up and stuff like that, turning. I was actually quite worried. So now she's not as sure on her feet as other kids her age, and she's kind of like bigger for her age. This other girl is 6 months older, but they're absolutely the same, identical size, even though you can't see that my daughter is like more of a baby. So my daughter is kind of hesitant with, you know, running and doing all those like physical stuff that kids are good at. It means more, it's easier for us parents because she doesn't get into everything and she doesn't like do risky stuff that much. But at the same time, I want her to, you know, be more of a daredevil and to just try things out. And this other girl is totally a daredevil, and she's a good inspiration for my daughter, and she has a good effect on her. My daughter wants to follow her around everywhere. They're running, constantly getting into everything. And it was a very nice sunny day. It was like the first day of spring that felt very, very much like summer. It was just beautiful. I loved this whole day. My daughter and I took a bus there, and it's always a fun experience. I just love living through life and seeing life through my daughter's eyes. Like, it's just so refreshing and gives you just a different perspective. You just relive the beautifulness of life, I guess, and the wonder of everything. And my daughter was just dressed to the nines. It was just like, I don't know, everything was just so pleasant and easy on the soul. So yeah, basically the kids were running and it was kind of like my turn to chase them. So I start running, and next thing I know, my fucking phone falls right out of my pocket on the pavement really hard. And I have dropped my phone many times before. It's a semi-new iPhone. I've talked about it before. I splurged on a new iPhone because I have never owned anything by Apple, and I was just curious and wanting to try something new after my previous phone died. So I bought myself the then new iPhone 15 Pro, and it was a year ago. So I fucking let it fall on the ground. I pick it up and I'm just like grinning to my best friend and like, oh, time for a new iPhone 16, I guess. Oh, bitch. Saying all that while my phone is fucking dying in my pocket as I speak. I mean, it's entirely my fault. I mean, it goes without saying that you should be taking care of expensive property and you should be more vigilant. So, you know, that's entirely on me. I pick it up. It looks fine. I mean, there are us all talking. She was basically from where we're all from. She just like, it's fine, she did not fall that hard. So I picked my daughter up. She like cried for a second and then immediately was fine, but she kind of had a scratch on her cheek from just a rough stone or something. So I felt very, very bad. Like sometimes it's hard for like someone with anxiety and for a mother, which means even more anxiety. It's hard to find this balance between being a helicopter mom that's constantly stressed and being like too easy and too neglectful. I'm struggling with that because I want to let my child have her experiences and I don't want to hover over her, you know. And the only way I would be able to catch her would be if I were like just right next to her, my hands next to her, like securing her. But it's sometimes you're lucky and it feels nice to have, you know, the security that things are fine. But sometimes you miscalculate and then you're just like fuck. So I felt very, very bad. And yeah. So then we all go home. The day is perfect. I go home. I start watching The White Lotus. I was using my phone too, like I was texting, making like other plans with a girlfriend of mine, stuff like that. And then I see my fucking phone glitching. First it's like this white blinking, like half of the screen blinking white. And then it's even worse, the phone just dies, then it wakes up again, then it dies again. And I'm like, no, please, no. But yeah, I fucked around and I found out, and my phone was basically broken. You could still use it when it was working, but you could never know when it will be working and when it will not. I'm like trying to contact people because I don't have WhatsApp anywhere else, and like people will only be able to contact me through like whatever Instagram that none of us really use that much and stuff like that. So I'm like, fuck, I've made plans but I need to be available, and I'm just like so bummed and so sad over it. I'm trying to cope. I'm trying to find like positives in the situation. I mean, my daughter could have been hurt instead of my phone. My daughter could have been the one broken, and I'm just like thanking God that it was this way around. And I immediately just had this feeling, I don't know, maybe I was coping or what, but I just had this feeling that it like my guardian angel just really caught a very big hit on my person, and that was the rest, like the tiny amount that my guardian angel could not get rid of, you know. So I felt I still felt lucky in this weird way. I don't know how to explain it. Like I immediately had this feeling that this could have ended so much worse. So I'm just trying to stay positive. And then like I started to search, you know, the whole process. What do I do now? I've looked up the prices for like a display repair at Apple, and I'm like, wow, you the warranty still stand? So I take a look, and of course I'm less than a month over my fucking warranty. Goes without saying. That would be like too lucky for me. So I'm like, great. Then my boyfriend returns home and he's like, yeah, fuck Apple. I mean, we live in the EU. No one cares. The EU basically dictates that a buyer has a 2 years warranty from the seller. And my seller was Amazon. I bought my phone off Amazon. And I'm like, score. So I contacted Amazon and they're like, yeah, you can send your phone for repair and we'll see if it's for free or if you have to pay something. I'm like, fuck. I just hope their price is not as high as Apple's. And so the very next morning I had my phone ready to go, packed, everything included, and my dumbass set it back to default settings. And bro, listen to me guys. I mean, it's probably not news for anyone that's not an idiot, but it's news to me. If you send out expensive piece of technology that has embedded in it a fucking tracking device, please don't turn off the fucking tracking device. Like just a thought. You know, in case, spoiler alert, the mail company ends up fucking losing your shit and losing your phone. But I'm, not the brightest, so I just sent it out, like reset to default settings, factory settings. Okay, my boyfriend sends it out before work. He gets this like paper that confirms that we gave the phone away at the mail station. Fine. 2 days later, I'm checking and the phone has not left the fucking packing station. So I'm like, bro, Amazon already told me that the repair alone can take up to 2 weeks. And I'm already delaying this by 2 days and God knows how many days. My package has not been shipped out yet. What the fuck is going on? I try to contact the mail company and it's just all chatbots and like no one can help me, and I got someone on the phone, they can't help me either. I have to wait a couple of more days until I can even fill out this form so that I can try to search for my package. So I'm like, great. I wait, nothing changes. I fill out the form. Until I've filled out this fucking form, I have gone through 3 midlife crises. I have to use my tablet that's kind of oldish, and their page is obviously a piece of dog shit. So every time I try to save, everything disappears. It's constantly click this, copy that, wait for this window to load, this and that and the third, and I'm just so over it. Like, it took me so long, and it disappeared on me 2 fucking times until I finally had to use my working computer because I just couldn't deal with the shit. I actually was so frustrated that I just wanted to cry, but I had no tears. I don't know, it was just a weird feeling of just absolute frustration. I actually hit myself on the face with a tablet, which is something I used to do but don't do anymore because it's not okay to do that. I mean, I would not have done this to anyone else, and I wouldn't sure as fuck not have tolerated someone doing that to me. So how dare I do this to myself? Like, it just goes to show you how frustrated I was. It was like really annoying and slow, and to have all this disappear on me when I was about to make a screenshot is just so sad. Like, but I filled out this form, and this form basically says that it will take up to 2 weeks until you have, the result of the search. So I'm like, wow, 2 more weeks added to the equation. I'm like, I cannot believe this shit. I really can't. But they did not take 2 weeks. I immediately got like an answer an hour later saying that, oh, we're not responsible for that. You should contact the seller and we will reimburse the seller if needed. At first I was like very frustrated by it. Basically my work filling out this stupid form was for nothing, but then I realized that the mailing company would have reimbursed me 500 euros only, so which is like a third of the price. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe like I will have more chances talking to Amazon directly. And I was like just so frustrated over this whole shebang, so annoyed. And so yeah, I contacted Amazon again, and they're like, okay, you have to wait for 2 weeks until we can get back to you. Fine, great, thank you. Of course, I'm checking the status of the package here and there. Hasn't left the station. My boyfriend talked to them. At first they were like, and it's fine, our system was just glitching, it's on its way. But obviously nothing was fucking on its way. I guarantee you, if I were to check now, this would have been the same status. I don't know if someone stole it, but how would they know what's inside? I don't know. I actually like removed the mention of iPhone from the label that I had to put on the box. I'm not sure what the fuck was going on there. But if I had my fucking tracking active, none of it would have happened. I'm trying not to dwell on it. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. I'm trying to live my life. I'm planning my boyfriend and I's birthdays. Our birthdays are like less than a week apart, so sometimes they fall on kind of like the same weekend, because you don't really celebrate during the week, obviously. And this was one of those cases, and he's about to turn 40. So I'm like trying to, have it to be a nice birthday, ordering like nice decorations. He's not much for party. He doesn't like his birthdays, so I'm trying to keep it simple, but still like have it be a bigger celebration than normal because he deserves it. So 2 weeks come by. I try to contact Amazon. A couple of chatbots don't help me, so I'm repeating because I don't care to waste the chatbot's time. So, and 2 of the chatbots were like, you'll have to wait another 6 motherfucking weeks even to get somewhere with us. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You've already asked me to wait for 2 weeks. Now you want me to wait for 6 more weeks for what? The package is lost. It's not coming back. It's in God's hands now. So I decided that I'm just not gonna take that, because I know for a fact that in 6 weeks nothing is going to change. It's already been 3 weeks, and I'm not about to just lose that time for no reason. I could have waited gladly if I knew that something will come out on the other end of it, but I know it's just a waste of time. So I continued talking to, I guess I was now connected to like a person or something. I don't know how this shit works. But I just tried explaining it to them that I don't have a phone. A friend of mine's husband gave me an old phone of his because my dumbass threw away my very old phone. I don't know why I did that. It was just sitting there for years. I did not need it, or for like a year. And I just thought that someone, if I were to lose my phone, that someone might have had an old phone for me, but of course no one did. I was kind of surprised by it. People who change their phones so often, but then when you ask them for one, no one has it. But fortunately for me, this guy was gracious enough to give me his very old phone, and I could use it to just for the basics, basic functions. I just needed to be available. My daughter's in daycare. If they call me, I need to be there. So I'm just texting with this chatbot person or whoever and explaining it to them that I have been without my phone for 3 weeks, and I'm just like lying that I need it for work and stuff like that. And yeah, it was screenshot it, and I clicked the wrong button, and I turned off the screen. And when I return back, the chat is over because I've closed the fucking window. I'll just let it sit there for a minute. You can imagine, like, I'm not even gonna have to explain my reaction. Like, I was just like, do I cry? Do I yell? And I'm just like, a part of me was just so calm. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just like in shock. So I try the same thing, and the next chatbot does not help me at all and finishes up the fucking chat. And then it's 1 o'clock at night, and basically the chatbots go to sleep at that time or whatever. I don't fucking know. So no one is about to help me. I'm like, wow. I cannot believe this fucking shit. I cannot believe how unlucky I've been as far as that phone is concerned. Like, what the fuck is this shit? I wake up the next morning. I'm like, girl, go eat breakfast. Do not do this shit. But even as I'm thinking that, my hands are already dialing. And I'm like starting to talk with another fucking support account, chatbot, whatever. And a couple of tries later, one of them fucking confirms that I'll get my money back, guys. I cannot believe my luck. I really had to call my bank and to ask if they have sent me the money. And the very same day, like within an hour, I was already on Amazon buying an iPhone 16. I'm a fucking scammer, but I don't care. Like, it's Amazon. What the fuck? Who cares? Like, they shit money. Like, I don't care. As long as it's not a person that I fucked over, I don't care. I'll scam as much as I want. So yeah, that's basically like the end of it. I paid 50 euros more to get like a nice, perfectly, beautifully colored champagne gold iPhone, and I had to buy an extra case with a fucking string on it so I can wear it like a cow wearing a fucking bell because I obviously cannot be trusted with important technology. And the funniest thing was that the phone arrived exactly on the day of our birthday party, of course, because otherwise things would have been too simple. And of course I was outside in our garden doing whatever I was doing, and I did not hear the door ring, and nor did my boyfriend. No one did. One girl was in the bathroom when that happened, but it's not her house, you know. She did not know what to do. She thought it was one of us maybe or something. So she did not act on it, obviously. And then yeah, so I'm like, I cannot believe it. Like, it was almost there. No, the last thing that needed to happen to like absolutely mentally kill me would have been if my phone was lost again, lost in transit. That would have been just perfect. So I'm watching my phone like a hawk. I'm trying to like catch the mailman. I'm like doing whatever I can. I've written the password that I would have to name the mailman. I've written it on a note and stuck it on the door so that my boyfriend can also open the door and receive the phone and name the password. I did every precaution you could think of, but of course my phone was not there the next day. The status of it was not updated. I'm like, what? No, please. Like, I'm tired. So, the day after that, of course, while I was in a work call, the door rang and I ran. I was like, girl, please wait a sec. I need to get that. I just like let my colleague hanging high and dry. But it's fine. password. I'm like, you have got to be shitting me. He tried it again, not the correct password. So I'm like, please, give me a second. I ran back home real quick, and I ran upstairs, and I took my fucking tablet, and I looked at the emails that I have been checking religiously this whole time, but there was like an hour of me not checking it when the email actually came, and it was an email with a different password. So I'm like, oh my god. So I ran back down to this guy, and I'm like, sorry, this is the password, because I know that, they're busy. They don't have time to be waiting for me within my shenanigans. I should have came prepared, but yeah, I was very apologetic about that. So the new password thankfully worked, and I received my phone finally. I'm so glad. And yeah, one thing I was worrying about losing was these voice notes that I'm recording those videos at. So I have saved those at like a different cloud just to be sure, and everything else was on the cloud as well. So I had everything. I did not lose anything, pictures wise or information wise. So yeah, it took me a while to get everything running, but now I'm as good as new. And yeah, so while this whole story was happening, on a more positive note, we celebrated our birthdays. I chatted the whole time in the background with my guy best friend, and like we created this secret WhatsApp group with everyone in there that was invited other than my boyfriend, and we just planned a surprise for him. So in the middle of the party, I asked him to go get cigarettes for a girl that actually happened to need cigarettes. So he was like, okay, I'll just buy her cigarettes real quick. It was surprisingly quickly that he just agreed to it, because he's a very nice guy. And I'm like, score, we have like 10 minutes, because it's a little bit, away from where we at. But then he's like, I'm gonna take my bike. So I'm like, fuck, that means 5 minutes. So he really did not have much time, and we just I basically asked people to bring clothes with them that would make them look like elderly people, whatever. And I asked them to, if someone had access to like a cane or a walker or whatever, to bring it. And I did not expect anyone to bring anything. I did not have any type of costume prepared myself, because I had a lot on my plate. I thought, I'll improvise something real quick. What I did was order a bunch of like gray-haired wigs and eyebrows and mustaches and whatever, And I also ordered like a balloon blow up type cane and a walker, and yeah. But then when the people started getting dressed, I was in stitches, bro. They did understand the assignment, and they did their homework, and I was so fucking impressed by everyone. But I just have to name the absolute winners of the contest. So my guy best friend had like a Ivy, and he had it on like a broomstick, and the inside of it was beer, and he had this like beer label on it. It was so fucking funny. I died laughing. Someone brought a fucking walker. Someone brought various canes that looked ridiculous, and someone brought a fucking wheelchair. Everyone was dressed to the mines. I'm talking like the deepest village in Siberia, like 90-year-olds playing fucking dominoes. It was glorious, bro. They looked amazing. People put fake makeup on, and Frank, they all had 5 minutes to do that. People spray painted their hair, grayish tone. They went out of their way, and I was so thankful and so glad. It was amazing. Like, and when my boyfriend came, we just surprised him. It wasn't exactly like a surprise because he spotted a couple of us. We were very disorganized, but it did not matter. And I handed him his wig and his fake mustache and whatever immediately, and we took the best pictures. It was very fun. We used to do that a lot. I used to organize those theme parties a lot before. I think it would not be a stretch to say that all in all in my life, counting like every tiny theme party, I was in maybe 100 of them. Like, I don't know, it's hard to say, but yeah, I would not be surprised if it was 100 or something like that. And so it was such a nice, refreshing thing that I've missed that so much. We do like one of those parties a year nowadays, if at all. So I'm trying to do this one that we're doing. So it was very nice to do another one. We had so much fun. We had like started listening to our parents' like favorite music and shit like that, and like singing along. And the guys went outside to smoke some weed, and they rolled one of them in a wheelchair. It was hilarious. They did not know that the way to where they needed to go was like not wheelchair friendly. Where we live is not stroller or wheelchair friendly at all, which we happened, my boyfriend and I, to find out like firsthand. I need to tell the story to you, but whatever. So yeah, and they had to carry him down some stairs and whatever. A couple of neighbors went by and noticed what we're doing. It was so hilarious. It was a very nice party. I was very tired at the end of it, but it was cool, very cool. But basically, just had a lot of fun, and I saw a lot of people that I don't see much, so I was very happy to see them. We received very generous gifts. I received a lot of flowers, which my boyfriend is basically the only one to ever give me flowers. Like roughly once a month he would give me a small bouquet, but I don't really receive like gorgeous flowers, a big bouquets that much. So I had to just look at them every time I went by them. And a girl, a friend of mine, did this very funny like gift setup for us, stuff like that. It was just very nice. But yeah, so the very next day my boyfriend turned 40 at night of the same party, right? So I wake up with my daughter. I'm like a little bit hungover, and of course I did not sleep that well, but I'm fine. I'm feeling okay-ish. I'll wait until the guests wake up, and then my daughter and I will walk out of our room and we just start going about our business. We had 2 guys and my best friend staying over because everyone else was at my guy best friend's place. And one guy was so hungover, he was puking his guts out like around the clock. And I was feeling okay, but then I had a very ill-advised beer, and I don't know, I think something went wrong after I had this beer. I don't know. The guests finally, or not finally, they left, and it was time for my boyfriend and I to go once he woke up, because of course I let him sleep in as much as he wanted. He wanted to go get like a burger and stuff. Boy, when been shot and there is an exit wound and there is an entry wound. Like, I think it's some nerve, connecting those two parts of my skull or something. So, I don't know. I started feeling that pain and then I started feeling nauseous. So when we arrived at the restaurant and we received our food and I received this big ass burger, I looked at it and I'm like, excuse me a minute. I went up and I made myself puke because I knew it's coming. I was having cold sweats, and honestly, far be it from me to puke at random establishments, toilets. Yeah, I know that's rude. I get it. I left no trace of my existence, but I felt like I know it's coming and I don't want it to happen at the fucking restaurant because that was a legit concern. I felt absolutely terrible. So I just stuck around for enough for my boyfriend to finish his food. I told him that I'm okay, but he obviously did not enjoy sitting there while I'm dying. I felt so bad, he did not let it show that it was like he was disappointed or something, but it was just annoying that it's his 40th birthday and I'm here, whatever. I did not touch my food anytime I ate one fry or something. My stomach was turning. All I could do is drink juice, and thank God this juice gave me life. I was hungry. I think that was one of those things. I sometimes when I get very hungry, I feel so ill that I can't even eat. It happens rarely, but that was exactly the case. And yeah, I was just dying. I had so much pain in my skull. I immediately started searching for an aspirin, and I almost died when I did not find it at first, but then thankfully I found it, and it saved my life. Aspirin is my dude. Aspirin is a lifesaver. It's my best friend. I just pray that aspirin never goes out of production or whatever. So yeah, we finally went home and I immediately felt better when we were home. So I don't know what that shit was about, but whatever. So the next thing that I have to talk about is a doozy, and it's basically about how one day before the fucking birthday party I injured my fucking leg. So instead of going about my 1,000 chores that I had to do before the party, I decided to join my friends and go to this fisher market or slash tiny fair and take my daughter with me. So we went. She again played with her new best friend, and it was very fun at first. And then we went to this carousel. It was me, my daughter, her best friend, and the best friend's dad, my friend. So my friend and I, we basically got the kids situated, put them on the carousel, whatever, bought the tickets. I have had a glass of wine up to this point, and I chugged it pretty quickly because the second I bought it, I regretted it. I realized that it occupied one hand too many. When you're with a toddler, you really can't afford to have your hands full, and it was annoying me more than anything. I could not put it anywhere really. I just couldn't wait to just get rid of it, so I chugged this wine within 30 minutes, and I guess that was a mistake because after I was basically drunk, not drunk off my ass, but you know what I mean. process that, the carousel will not start until every child is safely sitting somewhere, and secured. I had to rush things because I was worried that, oh my god, the carousel might start or whatever. I knew my daughter needs her sweet ass time getting from, one part of the carousel to the next. And I wanted to help her just to hurry things along. So I took her in my hands and I started carrying her to a different set, where her best friend was already waiting for her. I'm carrying her and I'm not watching my feet because I'm a fucking idiot. I still feel very angry at myself because I had, when you're holding a little child that's 2.5 years old, one thing you should be doing is watching your fucking step and being careful. And my foot slipped because this carousel had a set of stairs, and I still don't know what happened. It just happened so quickly. I just remember thinking that I need to get my daughter to safety. I need to land her on something. I need to put her somewhere. And as I was falling, I managed to, safely place her on the carousel, and then I fell, whatever. I don't even know what happened, how it happened. I have no idea. And all I know is my friend was like, oh fuck, and this girl standing right next to me watching her child, she was running to my aid, and I'm just in shock, And I asked my daughter if she's okay. She was. She barely noticed that something happened. So I was very, very grateful, and I was just so relieved. And, I wanted to get up because I immediately sat down on the stairs of this carousel. But now there's time, for a quick, relaxation session, bro. And I started to get up, and my legs were shaking. I was and it's funny, I remember walking good 5 steps to reach this bench. But when I saw this carousel the next day while walking to the restaurant with my boyfriend, I noticed that this bench was right next to the carousel, 1 step away. So it felt like a little minute. So I sit down, and my friend is next to me, asking me if I'm okay. And he signals to my knee, and I see that my tights are ripped, and my knee is bloody. Not bloody, but injured a little bit. Nothing serious. And he's like, wow, this looks bad. But then I look at my other leg, and at my ankle there is this lump that's already there a couple of minutes after I hit myself, a minute tops. And I'm like, wow, this looks bad. This is gonna be bad. Yeah, so basically my friend took care of the kids. He put them on the carousel. He did whatever. And the owner of the carousel was actually nice enough to run over to this other booth owner at this fair, and she brought me a cold napkin. It was very nice of her, but it did not really help me because it became warm very quickly at this warm day. But it was something, and I did not have anything else. So I just sat there for a while, collecting myself. But then I realized that I could in fact walk, so I was very relieved. And I don't know, if I was hit a little bit lower, I really could have been injured, because it could have been at my foot where all those bones are connected. I was relatively lucky, and the fact that my knee was not really injured, just a little bit scratched. I don't even know how this happened. I need to ask my friend. He was telling the story at the birthday the next next day, but I could not listen to it. I just went away because I was not about to like relive that shit. So he's texting his wife, who's also my good friend, and he's sending her a picture of like someone's tights that are ripped at the knee, and he's like, oh, guess who that is? And I'm like, boy, she's gonna know. You don't have to like, she ain't gonna guess anything. So she was like, yeah, who else, bro? So yeah, and we basically lost touch with everyone else at the fair. Everyone had like small kids, so they went away. So we basically lost the rest of our groups, and so him and I were hanging out waiting for his wife to join us. He was like running after the kids because, again, if my daughter's with this girl, they're a menace, and I couldn't do anything. So we just bought the kids ice and we just like chilled, and then a bunch of other people came and we got some food. Like the friend, but like I gave him some money, and because he was nice enough to ask me if I wanted anything, he bought me some food for my daughter and I, and bought me another wine. Very wise decision, I know. And yeah, I basically just spent another hour hanging out with my friends, and then my daughter and I, we went home. We had to walk to the bus station for like 10 minutes, but it was fine. My daughter needed a minute to walk, obviously being the small, and so did I, so we were in good company. And I, being the scammer that I am, I'm really on some scammer time, bro. I did not even pay my bus fare because I was so over it and I just wanted the world to burn. I chose violence that day. I was like, I'm not about to get up to go to this like fucking machine and just pay and whatever. The bus fare is too expensive as it is. It is the real scam. I was just like, I'm not doing that. Ever since they introduced this thing where you pay at this machine, I 50-50, like depending on my mood and how non-anxious I feel that day, I'll just not pay and I don't care. It's like €7 plus to just go by bus 2 times back and forth where I live. It's ridiculous. So and it's like a 15-minute ride, well, whatever, tangent. So yeah, we arrived home. It took me like everything to put my daughter safely to bed because I started having pain, and ever since that day, and I'm recording this video like 10 years later, I have had this huge ass fucking lump on the side of my ankle, on the inner side, and it's very painful to the touch. It's a huge hematoma basically, and the worst thing about it is that it hurts when I happen to sit or lay down for a while, and then I get up and the blood flow starts to that area. It hurts. It used to hurt very bad at the beginning, but I was very lucky that it's not a bone injury. I still don't know. I have not been to a doctor because every day I keep thinking, oh, it's gonna be fine, but then it keeps being there. My foot was like swelling for a couple of days. Each day it got worse. I had, of course, a huge ass bruise that started to spread. It looks like absolute dog shit. There is blood pooling at my foot because obviously gravity, and so my foot is also swollen just for shits and giggles, even though it's not injured. It looks absolutely atrocious, and thankfully my sister I finally told her about that, so she immediately rushed home and brought me some remedies against that, and I don't know if they're helping or not. So far, all they do is just hurt and burn, like absolute hell, especially exactly when I'm having to not move and when I'm in bed. This is where it starts hurting more for some reason. But I don't know. It looks better each day. Today was the first day where I kind of recognized this leg as my leg. It's just so swollen and ugly. But yeah, we still have ways to go. And this lump is kind of worrying me a little bit. I don't know exactly what it is. It must be like a hematoma, but I don't know. Like, I hope there is no injury. It does not look inflamed or anything. It does not hurt at all when I'm just chilling. But if my daughter happens to like kick me or something by accident, I see stars. So yeah, another great accomplishment of mine, I guess. But yeah, I think that's about it for my misadventures. It has not even been a complete month, but whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to record that as a diary entry because I've just found this whole ordeal just so funny, but a little bit stressful too. I actually have like a couple of gray hairs now, which is crazy. Like, worrying about an iPhone is crazy, but it is what it is. I'm not a billionaire, you know. Even though spiritually you're not supposed to worry about money, realistically you're supposed to. And yeah, I was just trying to calm myself down, trying to talk about how it's just an expense instead of a problem and this and that, but you know what it is, it's just upsetting. And I hope that my leg heals soon. I'm tired. And yeah, I hope you guys don't injure yourself and don't do stupid acts that result in loss of property or injury, and that you're smarter than me and learn from my mistakes. This is your warning sent to you by your guardian angel to be more careful and to take care of yourself. So have a nice day, guys.